You are very important, especially to us here at the New Chemist podcasting group. You listening in is significant.
Vous êtes très important, surtout pour nous ici au New Chemist Podcasting Group. Votre écoute est significative.
Usted es muy importante, especialmente para nosotros aquí en The New Chemist Podcasting Group. Usted escuchando, es significativo.
Você é muito importante. Especialmente para nós do The New Chemist Podcasting Group. Você ouvindo, é significativo.
Είστε πολύ σημαντικοί, ειδικά για εμάς εδώ στο The New Chemist Podcasting Group. Το να ακούς είναι σημαντικό.
Sie sind sehr wichtig, besonders für uns hier bei The New Chemist Podcasting Group. Es ist wichtig, dass du zuhörst.
Je bent erg belangrijk, vooral voor ons hier bij The New Chemist Podcasting Group. Dat je meeluistert, is veelbetekenend.
You are very important, especially to us here at the New Chemist podcasting group. You listening in is significant.
Purpose of these episodes not at all for advice or medical suggestions. These are aimed to provide support to peer pharmacists in training in educational and intellectually stimulating ways. Again, these are not at all for medical advice or medical suggestions. Please see your local board and state-certified health professional. The views of this podcast represent those of my guests and I.
You are very important, especially to us here at the New Chemist podcasting group. You listening in is significant.
Vous êtes très important, surtout pour nous ici au New Chemist Podcasting Group. Votre écoute est significative.
Usted es muy importante, especialmente para nosotros aquí en The New Chemist Podcasting Group. Usted escuchando, es significativo.
Você é muito importante. Especialmente para nós do The New Chemist Podcasting Group. Você ouvindo, é significativo.
Είστε πολύ σημαντικοί, ειδικά για εμάς εδώ στο The New Chemist Podcasting Group. Το να ακούς είναι σημαντικό.
Sie sind sehr wichtig, besonders für uns hier bei The New Chemist Podcasting Group. Es ist wichtig, dass du zuhörst.
Je bent erg belangrijk, vooral voor ons hier bij The New Chemist Podcasting Group. Dat je meeluistert, is veelbetekenend.
You are very important, especially to us here at the New Chemist Podcasting Group. You listening in is significant. Oh man, thank you, Chase, to join me today. Welcome to the new Student Pharmacist Podcast Experience. It is so good to have you listening in today. On this podcast, we discuss chemistry, pharmacy, as well as leaders in pharmacy. We discuss successful athletes and people who are just exceeding and making an impact in society. We're so glad you're listening. Feel free to download this podcast on wherever you listen, Pandora, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and the like. We are so glad to have you here. My guest today is Chase Griffin. Wow, this is amazing. So, I'll just read his bio and then we'll get started. Chase Griffin, a quarterback at UCLA, is a nationally recognized leader in the college name, image, likeness, athlete empowerment movement. He is a two-time winner of the National NIL Athlete and of the Year award, up by Bloomberg as the undisputed king of college endorsement deals. The Los Angeles Times as UCLA's magnetic marketer and name, image, likeness superstar by ESPN. Chase is a brand ambassador for JPMorgan Chase, American Eagle Outfitters, Degree, Unilever, Postmates, Uber, Shell, LegalZoom, Foot Locker Times, and the list continues. In addition to being 1-0 as a star in the iconic Rose Bowl Stadium, he is inspired by the rich tradition and legacy of the pioneering UCLA athletes who have come before him and is using his NIL for good. Professionally, Chase is the athlete creator in residence at Range Sports, Range Media Partners. He has his own newsletter, The Athletes Bureau. He's a student executive in residence at UWG, and he's a Togo Foundation Fellow. Chase is a prolific content creator, including branded entertainment, music production, and social content. In terms of his academic accomplishments, he's earned a BA in Public Affairs, a Master's in Education and Transformative Coaching and Leadership, and will soon complete a Master's in Legal Studies at UCLA Law. He's definitely doing a lot. He's a recipient of the National Arthur Ashe Jr. Football Scholar of the Year Award. He has won numerous awards, very accomplished, very articulated. He's doing well. It's so glad to have him on the podcast today. So, Chase, let's get started. I have a question to you. Before I even get into all my questions, how do you manage all of this? How are you? What drives you? That's the first thing I want to know. What is driving you so I can get a little piece of that and see apply it to my own career? What's driving you?
Well, first off, David, thank you for that amazing introduction, and thank you for having me on your show. It's a pleasure to be here today, speaking to whoever's tuning in, whether they be in the medical field or not. As far as how I'm able to stay focused and how I'm able to stay engaged while doing the various activities that I focus on, it comes down to habits. And I grew up in a household where I've always loved sports. I've always loved music, but school was always first. And so by having habits of doing homework immediately when I got home from school, practicing violin, and then going to training, these are all things that I've been doing since I was 4 and 5 years old. And when you get to college, it's really less about being able to continue to do those. It's about not letting your newfound freedoms or not letting distractions take you off path. And so for me, I think I've done a pretty good job of keeping away from distractions. And
very good.
I've done a good job of finding the joy in everything. That way, even when I'm tired, even in times where I may have a lapse in focus, I'm able to lock back in and treat everything I'm doing, whether it be on the field, off the field, in the classroom, as the best thing that I'm doing that day. And I try to have fun with everything, count it all joy.
Oh, yeah, that's good. Yeah, count it all joy, like the book of James. That's very good. Yeah, so what have been your long-standing interests in the fields of athletics and academics? So I see your career, but I want to hear what's your interest? What keeps you interested in this academic work?
So my undergrad was in public affairs, governance, and policy. I think when I look at my overall life goals, I want to build generational wealth early, and then I want to go into public service and philanthropy, wherever, I feel like I can make the bigger difference, and do all of that while maintaining my faith. Sports, that goes back a long time. My first sport was actually soccer. I grew up, really enjoying watching Ronaldinho. Zott play back when they were at Barcelona together. And that was the sport for around 5 or 6 years. And that's really where I learned how to train and how to dominate. But on Sundays, I always loved watching LaDainian Tomlinson score touchdowns. And so I always wanted to play football, but my parents told me that I couldn't until 5th grade. And so once 5th grade hit, that was my first season of quarterback. It was my first season of tackle football. And, it was the match for me. I really fell in love with the position and the sport. And that's how I play. I've also always been interested in basketball. I think outside of watching UCLA film, I probably basketball than I do football, especially in season, because when you're in season, football sort of becomes your job. So you don't want to spend 10, 12 hours a day on something and then go home and watch other people do it. I'd rather watch a Lakers game. That way, when I come back to the facility in the morning, I feel refreshed and ready to lock in and ready to go.
I agree with that. Yeah, so it's interesting you said you learned how to train and dominate. What did that entail? Did that entail like your upbringing, or like, of course you spoke about your habits, but you said train and dominate. What did that entail in terms of developing that skill?
Well, my father's always expected a lot out of myself and my siblings.
I agree. Same here with me.
Right. Yeah, so you understand. And then my mother's a teacher. So when it came to school, there was really no way out of it. It wasn't like I could go to one parent and be like, they're being tough on me. It was like, no, the expectation is if you're not doing your homework, you're doing something wrong. And then even over the summers, I love video games. So before I could play video games, I had to read 50 pages and do my workbook. And that went all the way, through probably early middle school, early high school. And so I just, doing well in school, to me, is just synonymous to what I do. And so it's something that I take pride in. And I think when you have a priority set like that, it takes care of everything else. My number one priority is always my faith, and then family, and then the business I got to handle, whether it's football, whether it's school, or whether it's NIL, really in that order now.
Yeah, that's good. Same here with me, dude. Interestingly enough, like for me, I had an upbringing in which my father's a physician, my mom's a professor. So, of course, academics is important. It's very important. But the thing I like about my upbringing is you had the liberty to choose what in that area you would do. The expectation was set. You must do well. That's good. So, how do you maintain view of the bigger picture in your career and in your life in general? So, when you face challenges or face a struggle, I know you have so much articulations and accomplishments, but I don't know. You may have not, but you may have encountered some challenges or some struggles. How do you maintain view of your overarching goals when you face those types of things? What do you do?
For me, perspective is everything. And I think by nature, I'm an even keel person where, I never get too high, never get too low. And I think a lot of that stems from just how I view life in general. In the grand scheme of things, life is very short. And a lot of the things that we attribute, large amounts of value to don't really matter. Just frankly don't. And a lot of the accomplishments we have are by the grace of God. So I never feel like me accomplishing something or me being good at something is something I'm doing alone, let alone doing it by myself at all. So, this is something I've had to work at more and more throughout college, I was Gatorade Player of the Year my senior year in Texas, so I'm coming off being, in my opinion, the best player in the best state in the country as far as high school football goes. And then I'm not playing that year. I'm redshirting. And so that's a big shock to any 18-year-old who feels like they just made their best choice to get to the NFL. And if you can't see your dream in that moment, it's easy to get discouraged, and I did. And it's something that a lot of freshmen go through. But for me, it was about taking a step back, realizing what really mattered to me, realizing that there's things that I can control and there's things that I can't control. And as long as I lean into my faith, that it'll all work out, not just exactly how it should be, but even better than I could have planned it. I always tell people I'm not a big planner. I definitely have goals, and I have visions in mind that I think keep me on track as far as realizing the things that I do now will have consequences later, good and bad. But at the same time, I could never tell someone what I'll be doing in 10 years, because I think that's hubris to think. A man can have plans, but the Lord actually guides the steps. So as long as I remain trusting in that, I know that I'll have peace however it ends up, and I'll continue giving myself the best shot to reach my goals.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. And even for me, articulations, pedigree, accomplishments, they all, like you said, they're by God's grace. And like the end game, the target, like if your life was like a dart, like the bullseye is to make sure that you give God glory, or you live a life that reflects Him, that you honor the people that you encounter. All of that plays out in your vocation, in your personal life, or whatever the case may be. So, how have you been adaptive and creative in the field of public service? What do you do? Like, I even saw, like, I did a little bit of Google searching, you basically fill up Google. I typed in your name. Yeah, you're doing so well. So I even saw you had like cards and stuff like that. Like, what do you do that's adaptive and creative in the field of public service?
So I grew up serving at the Ramrod Serving Center, which is probably around 15, 20 minutes away from the house I grew up in. And then when I got to college, I wanted to find a way to continue doing that, especially with NIL, with my newfound platform, and just frankly, by earning money, I had an actual opportunity to give. And
that's very important.
I'm a Christian and I believe in tithing, so I've given a portion of all of my proceeds, and now I've personally donated over $40,000 to the LA Regional Food Bank, and through my platform, I'm honestly proud of the work that we've done to help others and bring more eyeballs to the program. And there's been folks from Bruin community, there's been folks from my community back home in Texas, there's been family members who have joined along with me to donate to the cause that I truly believe in.
Oh, this is good, man. I think I need to come to California. I know so many people there. I need to come and take a visit. So how have you sort of found the right environment for you to thrive athletically and intellectually? What do you do when you're determining which environment you're going to go to? How do you sieve through or sort through? Because I know for people like yourself whom I can see, I can speak from my own personal experiences. Sometimes it's not a matter of having opportunities, it's not an issue of having opportunities, but choosing the one that's the best fit for you. So what does that process look like for you, Jace?
It depends on the situation. So when it comes to NIL, I choose my opportunities based off a value system. I try to work with brands that align with me personally, and where the brand deal that they're offering me is economically correct and according to my market price, and something that I build community value and empower others with. When it comes to choosing UCLA, it came down to really two main things. Great school with amazing history, and particularly amongst the Black athletes who have come here and changed the world from this campus. And then, I believe that it gives me the opportunity to play big time enough football to go to the NFL. And I still have one more year of eligibility, and until that dream is gone, I'm going to continue working like that's the goal.
Okay, well, I wish you all the best in that. So
Thank you.
Yeah, by God's grace. So, how do you maintain balance or good integration with all your responsibilities and accomplishments? What story or person has impacted you so that you can maintain these things? What story can you share that really speaks to you having a good integration, balance in your work life, in your fun life? I don't know how that looks like. What that looks like for you? Maybe more football. I don't know. Or your accomplishments. What story can you share and tell the audience that really speaks to the pop in that area? Progress in that area.
I mean, I've had, a number of amazing mentors that, I'll continue to foster relationships with. But honestly, as far as folks that I really revere in that way or idolize, maybe that's too strong a word. It really just comes down to my parents. Just how committed they are to me, how committed they are to my sister and my little brother. I think this showcases, one day I want to be a parent. And
Same here.
Not anytime soon.
Yeah, me too. Same here. I think I'm moving slow on that one.
Yeah, exactly. But at the same time, I know that all of this will be for something better than, what I feel like it wouldn't just be worth it if I was doing it all for me. So by having that in the back of my mind at all times, I know that the decisions I'm making are going to have consequences in my life, and all I can do is continue to control what I can control to put myself in the best situation. And I really have always revered my parents. There's never really, been a day, like everyone makes mistakes, but there's never been a day where I felt like, dang, like daddy or mama, they don't care about me, or they're not committed to my upbringing or my success. And I think in that same way, when you're raised by people who believe in you that way, then you end up believing in yourself that way and making that commitment to yourself.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with you completely. To have people who will support you and go with you to the nth degree, academic pursuits and your personal pursuits. Yeah, that's good. So, in terms of advice, what has been that you've received that's really impacted you, that's really made an impact in the way you operate? You can name a person or what they said, or keep them anonymous. What has been some advice that's impacted you personally that you find echoing in your mind in those good days when you do so well and kind of helps you come back down to earth, or those hard days in which you have to pick yourself back up?
Right. For me, it's really been doing at least a verse a day every single morning. So a Bible verse. And so I wake up every single day, say my prayer, get to the facility, and then review a Bible verse every day. And what that does is it puts me in the right frame of mind and helps remind me what really matters. Like, when I have meetings and I have football and I have an event to go to or an event to speak at, those are all amazing, but sometimes it's hard to find the red thread in all of it. And you said it best earlier, like sometimes, at all times, it's really just about glorifying God and spreading love to others. What we do on a daily basis is just the medium for us to practice that. And you said that earlier, and I really resonated with that. I think by reviewing a verse every single morning puts me in the right wavelength, and it helps remind me that, every single thing I'm doing today is worth it if I'm practicing this advice right here.
Yeah, I agree with you. And one of the things that comes from my faith perspective is that if you believe that God is leading you, you're being led in triumph. No matter how it looks in the moment, the end result is going to be victory, progress. What's been some of the most, what advice would you give to those listening? So like, say if someone sees you and they see all of the things you've done, all the things that you are doing, what advice would you give to someone who either wants to play football in college, pursue an academic career? I know I admire student athletes highly because, to be honest with you, it seems like you all do a lot in terms of managing school well and also managing athletics well. Because even me, I've not really served as a student athlete college, you exercise. And after you finish exercising, you're tired and fatigued, so you normally put that at the end of your day. So what advice would you give to someone who wants to follow in your footsteps or follow in a like manner? What advice would you give them?
Well, I'd say look at the things that you really want to do and be the best in the world at them.
Okay.
And if it's something that you really want to do, you'll be naturally inclined to want to compete and want to do well in that. And then treat every single event like it's the Super Bowl. If it's a conversation with somebody, that's the most important conversation you're having that day. If you're walking past the janitor in the hallway and you gotta give them the head nod and acknowledge them and say what's up, like acknowledge them like that's the only person you're gonna see all day. And what you'll see is there's a lot of moments that happen throughout your day that become excellent. And as soon as you start practicing that type of level of performance throughout your life, good things are bound to happen. I think, I can't plan how my future is going to go, but I think the Lord does give us the opportunity to have some agency as far as putting ourselves in the best position to receive those blessings.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that's good. That's very good, Chase. I am so grateful I got the opportunity to chat with you today. Given all the work that you're doing, I'll be happy to do a publication with you, write something with you because we can really support science and sports together. But anyway, we'll see how that plays out. Thank you again, Chase, for joining me today. Once again, this is a new Student Pharmacist podcast experience. It is so good how you're listening today. Take care and all the best.
Thanks for listening to the podcast series The New Student Pharmacist, where we discuss chemistry and pharmacy, as well as leaders in pharmacy careers, community, and chemistry and pharmacy research. We encourage you to support the work we are doing and follow us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts by subscribing for free. We are so glad that you were able to tune in today. Note: the views on the podcast represent those of my guest, and I take care and all the best.
Hello, Mike. It's good to see you. Thanks for joining me today.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, no problem. So, my first question for you is, what has been some of the most beneficial advice you have received?
I think the most beneficial advice I've received, at least in the context of, I guess, the greater purpose of our discussion, which is talking about chemistry and kind of the way we interact with the world as chemists and the way that we think about the world as chemists, is essentially like kind of the advice that's pretty general, like never give up and keep on trying. If you get knocked down, you have to get back up again. And I think in the context of chemistry, this is probably the most important advice I've had, because when you're doing research, most likely your experiment is not going to work. Probably out of 100 experiments you do, maybe like, depending on which exact field of chemistry you're in, like 50 of them, 70 of them, 80 of them will fail. So really for me, I think the most important thing has been being told and being affirmed that failure is normal and that you just have to keep working and try again.
Yeah, I agree. That's important, to persevere. So, do you have any advice for those wanting to pursue the field you are currently working in?
Yeah, I would say my advice for someone who wants to be in chemistry is that they need to really seek out people who can give them guidance. I think you shouldn't wait for someone to say, like, let me help you. I think you have to be really proactive. Kind of like you've been doing with this podcast. You're reaching out to people. You're seeing what's worked for them in their careers, and especially lots of chemists. You're reaching out to them, the people who have experience in the field, and you're seeing, like, what made you successful, what worked well for you. I think you really have to look around and find a mentor who can, or mentors, multiple mentors who can really help guide you in your path, because there's a lot you can miss if you're trying to walk the path alone.
Okay, so would you say that mentorship has played a large role in your development as a chemist?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, that's good. That's good. So, why did you choose chemistry as a field to major in your undergraduate years?
Yeah, so initially I chose biochemistry, which was
Okay.
kind of motivated out of, I like chemistry because it's a mixture of kind of applied science and then also fundamental science. It's
Okay.
called the central science often. And I chose biochemistry because I liked the relationship between the chemistry side and also kind of like the more medicine type side. I didn't want to be a doctor, but I thought it was really cool to see how chemistry and different like therapeutics can help the body, how you can like heal humans using the knowledge of chemistry. But as I progressed in my study of chemistry, I got more interested in things that went beyond just like chemistry interacting with humans, but just chemistry interacting with the whole world, which is kind of how I shifted more towards inorganic chemistry, where I was interested in how chemistry in humans using chemistry, either as chemists or as people driving cars or using plastic materials, whatever it may be, interact with the world. And I really liked how inorganic chemistry could help shape the way we interact with the whole world.
Okay, so what do you mean by that? What specific ways, or even more to be even more specific, what specific area of inorganic chemistry is your research centered around?
Yeah. So my interest in inorganic chemistry even surpasses just my research. I'll talk about both, I guess.
Okay.
In terms of like in general, inorganic chemistry, for example, like all of the plastics around us, most of them are made using inorganic catalysts.
Mm-hmm.
Plastics play like a huge role in our world, and this has been like our development that happened within like the several decade time span that was a really important contribution from inorganic chemistry. Also, if you look at like a lot of the like industrial feedstock chemicals we have to use, like ammonia is one that's central to our research group because ammonia is important for fertilizer and then as a nitrogen feedstock chemical.
Okay.
Inorganic catalysts are like necessary for providing more ammonia for both fertilizer and feedstock applications. There's also like hydrocarbon cracking.
Mm-hmm.
There are all sorts of different industrial applications that really heavily rely on metal catalysts. So inorganic chemistry really appealed to me as something that spanned so many different like areas of our life where we may not even realize it. Even just in your car, like your catalytic converter in your car is inorganic catalysts.
Yeah.
Now, in my own research, what's interesting, our group deals quite heavily in the nitrogen cycle, although we also look at other small molecule activations. I work for Jonas Peters at Caltech to provide some context. We work a lot in the nitrogen cycle, and I work in the conversion of ammonia and nitrogen. So our group historically studies the process where you take nitrogen and you convert it to ammonia, which is called nitrogen fixation. One of the most important industrial processes, the Haber-Bosch process. But recently, well, not even recently, for decades, there's been interest in using ammonia as fuel because ammonia doesn't have any carbon in it. So if you use ammonia as fuel, not necessarily combust, you could also use it like a fuel cell or some other application. Using ammonia as fuel would be a carbon-free fuel, and that's been something that people are really interested in recently because there's a lot of push towards avoiding the carbon-based fuels because of concerns about global warming. But even more importantly, to me, like, carbon-based fuels will run out. Like, that seems to be something that's hard to debate. No matter how much people may have different perceptions on the prospects of global warming, if you use up a resource, you will run out of it. And carbon-based fuels are hard to replenish. So you can either do research in replenishing carbon-based fuels, which is a really active and important area of research, or you can research alternative technologies that don't rely on the carbon-based fuel. So this could be like capturing solar energy, wind energy, any of these things, or storing that energy in different fuels, one of which could be ammonia. So that's what my research deals with, turning ammonia into nitrogen as a new carbon-free fuel.
Okay, that's good. So, if you had to give along the same lines of advice and career paths, how have you been able to be so academically successful as a student? What would you attribute to your success? Or who, or what process, or pattern, or lifestyle?
Yeah. I think for this question, it's really important to acknowledge my parents, because my parents, I think having two parents who were really interested in my academic success was really helpful. Both of them were really involved in like pushing me to study and really prioritize that in my life, making that like really important for me, not like diminishing its importance and saying like, yeah, school's all right, but why don't you focus on like all these other activities also? Like, they did let me do other activities. I played soccer my whole life. I ran track when I was in high school. I did a lot of other activities, but they weren't like forcing me to do anything. They gave me the ability to make my own choice, but they imparted how important education was, which I'm really grateful for, because even though I really liked soccer when I was a kid, like, it's unlikely you're going to become a professional athlete, for example. So, and I also like suffered a lot of like injuries when I was doing sports, where that would have like had a really negative effect if I wanted to keep playing sports. So like, I chose not to try to play sports in college because of injuries I had in high school. Whereas like focusing on academics, because my parents made me focus so much on, or didn't make me focus so much on academics, but made me realize how important it was. That was like a gift that I've been able to keep like across many different circumstances. So I think that's a really important factor in terms of making me see that it's important. I think a lot of people, although to people like us who are like grad students or beginning their career as a graduate student, it seems like obvious that education's important. I think not everyone is of the same opinion where they don't necessarily think it's that important.
Okay.
And I don't think education in the like college education itself is the most important thing. Like, I also think it's really important to have education for like more like not college education career paths. So like being a electrician or being a mechanic or some other skill like that. I think that's also really important, and I include that also in education.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. For example, like in the Bahamas, they have different paths that students can take, and one would be a strictly academic route, and there's also a pathway in which you can study at a technical and vocational institute. So yeah, both play a large role in development and providing job security and good opportunities for people to find work. So, how do you maintain a balanced life given all your responsibilities and accomplishments? Or how are you trying to maintain a balanced life?
Yeah, I think that's a kind of, I'm not a great person to ask about this, because I'm kind of, the way that I operate is kind of like my PI, he's told me many times, like, graduate school is a marathon.
Yeah.
But my response to that question is that I'm a sprinter. When I was in high school and I ran track, I was a sprinter. Like, my mentality is always like to go fast.
Yeah.
So that's something I'm trying to work on a bit, like being more patient. So I'm not really great with the whole balancing thing. Pretty much what I do is like I work really hard for a while, and then after that I will rest for a while, and I kind of go in cycles, which is a fair strategy, but maybe the marathon strategy is slightly better. But yeah, I wouldn't say I'm the best source for the question.
Okay, well, it's good to, I would say this, it's good to work and to rest. And the fact that you have found a way to incorporate both into your studies is very beneficial. So, how do you maintain vision and teamwork in your environment?
Yeah, so I think that really ties in well with the last question about maintaining a balanced life in the notion of being a sprinter versus being a marathon runner.
Okay.
I think a really important thing is patience.
Okay.
I think patience has to be like one of the most important lessons I've learned in graduate school. And I think it's what is of utmost importance in maintaining vision and teamwork, because when you work in a team, inevitably people are going to want to work at different rates. They're going to want to have different thoughts. They're going to want to explore different pathways. You might disagree on which pathway you want to work on.
Mm-hmm.
So I think really patience is really important for maintaining vision and teamwork, because you need to really be patient and see where the other people on your team are coming from.
Mm-hmm.
You need to like really get in their shoes and see like how are they thinking about the problem? Like what are their thoughts on the problem? Not what my thoughts are on the problem, but like what are my teammates' thoughts? And in order to do that, it takes time, and that means you need to be patient with the other people to figure out, you know, what their thoughts are.
Yeah, I agree. Patience is very important, and it allows you to be considerate, conscientious, and to work collaboratively and effectively with people, especially in scientific environments. So, along the lines of environment, how have you sought or found the right environment for you to thrive scientifically and or intellectually? How are you finding that environment, or how did you find it?
Yeah, I think this is really something that just takes like personal experimentation. So for me, like the right environment for me to thrive, a lot of it has to do with like when I work and how I work.
Mm-hmm.
So, like for me, I figured out that I like to work like later at night. I'm much more effective when I'm working later at night.
Mm-hmm.
So being in grad school where I have a pretty flexible schedule, I've been able to make my schedule such that I can work in the hours that I'm more productive, which is usually working later at night. And yeah, I think that's the main thing. I don't really know about other factors. Maybe you have some other factors in mind that you could bring up. But.
So you're basically saying personal experimentation. It requires some personal reflection and self-discovery and understanding yourself and how you fit into the environment. Yeah. So
understanding how you fit in the environment is really important, and it takes the two factors. You have to see the environment, which is one factor, but you also have to do the self-reflection, which is really important. You have to like actively ask yourself, like, is what I'm doing working?
Yeah, I agree. I completely agree, because I've heard different takes on this after interviewing several people. Self-discovery is important, self-reflection is important. Yes, finding a good environment is important as well, but sometimes you can complement to the environment, becoming what you want. You can be a change agent in that environment, even as a beginner or learner. Because I've interviewed other people and they've stated how they have complemented to creating the environment that they wanted to see, or shaping the environment in a direction or a path that was aligned with what they valued, thought to be true. So, how have you been adaptive and creative in the field of science? What specific ways or areas have you been adaptive or creative in science?
Yeah, I think this question, I can't say that I'm necessarily adaptive and creative. What I'll say is that there's nothing new under the sun.
Okay.
I think the most adaptive and creative things I've been able to do that may seem adaptive or creative, I think come from looking very vigorously at what's already known. Okay. So in the context of chemistry, there are so many papers that have been published over, like, say, the last 200 years. Mm-hmm. And there's been so much research by so many people. And oftentimes, small paths of investigation get forgotten because at that point in time, it wasn't clear how the different paths connected with one another. Mm-hmm. But if you look from our modern perspective now and you look really deeply and you say, I saw like all these different paths that people were researching at different points in time, and now seeing all of them together at this current time, I see a link between them. I think finding that link between maybe these old threads of investigation is really an important thing that can be overlooked. A lot of times it's more exciting to try to find something brand new, but it's easy to find something new and creative from what's already known. So you have to really dig into what's known in the primary literature, and has been my experience in my
I agree, because many times people want to, or some persons may want to work on something that's novel or come up with something that's novel, but as you look back on previous literature, whether it be in a discipline in chemistry or a discipline in science in general, as you look back at previous literature, you can gain insight that can complement you doing an experiment better or adjusting some type of parameter within the experiment. So yeah, I do agree. That is very important. So how do you maintain a view of the bigger picture in your career and in your life in general?
Yeah, I think this question gets at one's worldview.
Okay.
So my personal worldview is that I'm a Christian and I have faith in Jesus. And for me, it's kind of a freeing thing, because maintaining the bigger picture in my life, that is the bigger picture for me. So I'm not tied to like being a perfect scientist or like being a new hero of scientists, like trying to be the new Einstein or whatever your favorite scientist may be.
Yeah, I agree.
Like I don't like, although I do like to try to like strive for perfection, if I fail, that's not a problem. I don't need to be perfect to like redeem my life. I just need to do my best, and as part of my personal like philosophy, which I think is tied to Christianity, trying to be the best version of yourself and leave the world better than you found it. Yeah. I think that even though that is my goal, if I fail, it's okay, because I don't need to be the best in order to be doing my part. I don't need to be successful. I just need to be really doing my very best and doing it with.
Yeah, I agree, because my worldview is based on my Christian faith as well, and my understanding is as we progress and as we move along, we try and get better day by day. It's a journey, so you don't have to like arrive or be some perfect person. So at the end of the day, we're gradually becoming better. So yeah, that does play a large role. A faith perspective does play a large role. So as we conclude, what have been your long-standing interests in the field of science? If you had to summarize it in like 2 or 3 sentences, what have been your long-standing interests in the field of science?
I think now one of my long-standing interests is like conversion of fuel, like making a way for us to power our planet in a way that is better than our current systems.
Okay.
And this relates to like it's long-standing in the fact that when I was a kid, one of my dreams was to have a Lotus Exige, this like fancy kind of niche sports car.
Okay.
But as I grew up, I came to see that I felt like a bad environmental steward if I were to buy a car that has 10 miles per gallon fuel efficiency.
Okay.
So now I feel like I need to be working on like, I still want a sports car, but I don't want to be a bad steward of the environment.
Yeah, I understand.
It's beyond that. This is kind of like a trivial example and somewhat of a joke, but I think it's true. We want to maintain our lifestyle, but we want to be good stewards of the environment.
Yes.
How can we do that if we don't have technology that will allow us to do both? We can't do both equally in the current state of our world, and our future generations won't be able to do it if there is no more fuel. So I see that as like a really, really important problem.
Okay, that's good, man. That's very good. Thanks again for joining me today, Mike. It was good to have you here.
Yeah, it's really good to see you.
Welcome to the New Chemists podcast. We're glad you're listening. Feel free to download this podcast on Spotify and Google Podcasts and other platforms. Here on the New Chemists, we discuss chemistry, which simply put is the science of change, as well as the other sciences, careers, community, research, and COVID-19. We're happy you're tuning in. My guest today is Vincent Miranda. Thanks for joining me today. It is so good to hear from you. Just briefly, I'll inform my audience about you. A good friend and a good colleague of mine, an intelligent young person, Vincent Miranda graduated valedictorian in 2017 from Northwood High School in Napanee, Indiana. Vincent Miranda graduated in the spring of 2021 from Taylor University, and he earned a Bachelor of Science degree in biochemistry. He is currently enrolled in Indiana University School of Medicine, and I'm sure he will do well, and I wish him all the best. Please welcome Vincent Miranda. Thanks, Vincent, for joining me today. It's so good to have you as a guest today on this podcast.
Yeah, it's great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, me and Vincent go way back. We go all the way back to 2018. Isn't that right?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah,
I was just a fresh chemistry student.
Yeah,
didn't know up from down.
Yeah, didn't know up from down, but he knew his way around the lab. So I would say a really good friend of mine, a close friend of mine, and a really intelligent young person. So what have been your long-standing interests in the field of science?
I think just starting from mainly in high school when I really took an interest to science and the different fields of science. I have always wanted to use my knowledge and what I've learned just to help others. I think everyone kind of has their niche where they just feel comfortable. And for me, that's been the field of science. And so to be able to use that, to be able to use what I learn and what I know to then impact others in a positive way, that's kind of been one thing I've really tried to do.
Okay, so you're interested from your career profile, I could see you're interested in the translational aspects of science as it pertains to science impacting society. Is that correct?
Yep, I would say so.
Yeah, that's good. So along that line, in what way would you say have you added a creative flair to the science that you did at Taylor University?
I think that the science I did at Taylor University, it's not a very big field or not a very big major at Taylor. So I think just being able to take people from different areas, like for example, myself, I was able to play basketball at Taylor and study biochemistry as well. So being able to bring that, what I learned from sports and that team atmosphere, that kind of working together, working through adversity, and really turn it and kind of change it into what I do in the field of science as well. So for example, in the lab, something goes wrong and you got some options. You can either just quit or you can try to figure out a new solution. I think that athletic background really helped me kind of push through different adversity that came up in the field of science.
And that's good that you mentioned that, because many times from my personal experience, it seems as if athletics and academics are like two different spheres that people rarely show that they coincide. But I think if we were to take the discipline that we taught and perpetuated in the field of athletics and translate that into science and show that the same way how person X can be great in basketball through being disciplined and dedicated from a very early age. So likewise, you can be great in science if you're disciplined, dedicated, and you coincide with your skills and passion from an early age. You work hard, so you can be great. But along that line, how do you maintain view of the bigger picture in your career and your life in general? When you encounter challenges, Everyone has encountered challenges at some point in their academic career. When you encounter challenges, how do you maintain view of the bigger picture?
I think for me, it's just taking it day by day, especially for what I want to get into. You can really get caught up in very future focused and what's coming next and how do I prepare for this and am I ready for that? I think that can really just cause trouble in the present if you're looking so much toward the future that you forget what you're doing now. So one of the things I like to do is just make sure I'm not looking too far ahead and just going day by day and making things into smaller, more manageable tasks as opposed to things that seem unmanageable and huge. And then in addition to that, I think being able to have the correct priorities, just knowing where my career, where academics fits into my life in general. And there are things that are more important than that, even though academics is very important to me.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. So, would you say that your perspective or your stance of taking it in like day by day or in granularities and looking at the particulars of that specific day is really complemented to your success thus far?
Yeah, I would say so. Like I said, it just keeps me grounded and keeps me from getting discouraged by looking at things that may seem impossible to accomplish all in one swoop. So breaking it up into those smaller things, I think, helps me stay encouraged.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. You know, John Maxwell said, while others simply go through life, I will grow through it. That's my choice and I will surrender it to no one. So yeah, we do have agency and we do have the capacity to choose. And like you said, you choose daily to take things one step at a time. And I think that complements, you know, when you break a large task down into small parts, it makes it more feasible. You're able to, and also make it more manageable in terms of, I'm not dealing with this huge goal that I must achieve in this one instance. But at the same time, so just a snapshot of your career, you started off at Taylor University, a very good, I would say, high-ranking Christian university that has a really strong chemistry department. You started off there, you did basketball, and now you've matriculated. You got into Indiana University's medical school, which is a very top-notch medical school. What would you say, or how did you seek and find the right environment for you to thrive? Obviously, you were thriving at Taylor, and that complemented you to being able to get admitted into Indiana University. So how did you thrive, and how did you find that environment to thrive?
Yeah, I think for me, the biggest thing is just the face-to-face personal interaction I can have with my professors, the people above me, and just so I can learn. That's how I learn best, I think, is in that face-to-face contact, that small group structure, or the one-on-one time with the professor. So being at Taylor in a department that I think we had 8 or 9 students in my graduating class in the chemistry department, it was a tight-knit group, and I could walk into any of my professors' offices pretty much at any time and be able to have that one-on-one conversation with something I'm not understanding or even something totally different. So being able to have that small class size and that family atmosphere, I think really helped me thrive. And which is another reason why I think it'll be beneficial that I'm actually at the South Bend campus for IU School of Medicine and not in Indianapolis or Bloomington. Because again, it's that smaller, we have 30 students in our class. And so I'm going to be able to have that small class size and that personal interaction again, I believe.
That's good. And I hope that is the case for you. Hope and pray that is the case for you. So, given that you have a lot of responsibilities, you're a married man, preparing for med school, all this other good stuff, and you have accomplished several things, how do you maintain balance, Vincent? Are you balanced, Vincent? Would you say that you are striving to be balanced?
I think so. I'm definitely striving to be balanced, and on a day-to-day basis, sometimes you might get a little off balance, but I don't think that's anything too abnormal. So just that's another thing where I think basketball has really helped me, because in college and even before that in high school, I really had to work at, balancing my schedule, managing my time, making sure that school got done and that I was giving my best effort on the athletic field or court. So just kind of using that time management skill and things like that to make sure you have the right balance and stay grounded. And that's another thing too, just having good friends, good family that they'll tell you when you're out of line, when your priorities aren't straight. And so having that support system has been huge for me, my family, my wife now, and all my great friends like you, David, just making sure that I'm kind of on the right path and going in the right direction.
Yeah, man, you're a good friend of mine as well. And I think one of the things that complements understanding balance is that balance is not, I've spoken to many people about, 30 different people about the same concept. Balance is not, doesn't make me an expert in it, by the way. It makes me someone who can discuss it. So balance is not a static stance or an instance. Balance is dynamic. Just like resilience, just like mental health. All those things incorporate, addressing the stresses that you face, finding a way to manage and adjust to them, and then proceeding forward with your life. So, Frederick Flack said that the most encouraging observation I've made over the years is resilience, or whatever you want to call it. Balance is a strength most of us can develop with thought and practice. So, those things, of course, I summarize his words, but those things, they require thought, they require practice, and they require progress through time. So it's not something that you achieve in one instant. So yeah, I agree with you. So I would say, in many regards, you have been successful as a student in the field. What has complemented to your success thus far? And what do you think will complement to your success in medical school? Is it a personality thing? Is it a skill set thing? Is it a knowledge and acumen thing? What would you say is that factor? Of course, both of you and I, being people of faith, we attribute our success to who we believe in. But what would you say is the factor when it comes to your practical, physical, day-to-day life as complements to your success?
Yeah, I think the personality I've been able to develop just from my life experiences, being the youngest of 3 boys, and then being in athletics all growing up, and then just the support system I have from my family. All those things kind of molded me into who I am today, someone who's willing to take chances, willing to have those hard conversations and push through adversity. And then just being able to, I think one thing that'll help me going forward, there's a lot of people maybe that are in the sense of book smart, much smarter than I am. But I feel like with the experience I've had, the jobs I've been able to work, the shadowing opportunities I've had, I've been able to kind of witness and see what it takes to be successful in the field of medicine. And so all those different things I think have set me up pretty well for going forward in this field.
So another things that I've heard people mention as I've interviewed them is the use of Anki, the use of Sketchy, the use of Picmonic. All those are platforms and software that allow for reinforcing your learning in medical school. So how have you maintained vision and teamwork in your environment while at Taylor, and even in your personal life? How do you maintain vision and teamwork?
I think kind of sometimes you have to really stop and swallow your pride, because being a good student, and sometimes things do go your way, and at those moments you can't get too proud and think that you can do this all on your own, and I don't need God, I don't need any other people around me, I'm doing this all on my own. And whenever you start to teeter to that thought process, I think it's when, like I said before, you have a good support system that says, wait a second, you didn't get here all on your own, you have a good support system with you, and you don't want to ruin that. And just making sure that you're not too proud to ask for help sometimes.
I agree. Like I was interviewing an administrator at Georgia Tech, and he made the comment, his concern is not about being right, he just wants to make sure that he gets it right. He wants to make sure he's in the right position, he's achieved the right goal, he has achieved the thing that's needful at the time. So why did you choose biochemistry? Be more specific. Why did you choose biochemistry as a field to major in, Vincent? What complemented that decision for undergrad?
I think For me, so it kind of starts back to when I was in high school.
Okay.
Really, I had a great chemistry teacher and really enjoyed learning about the sciences. And then after that, I was able to shadow, or I had an internship at a hospital my senior year of high school, and kind of got to see the different parts of medicine. So I was thinking, what can I do? Where can I go to integrate this chemistry, these sciences that I love so much, as well as the field of medicine that I love so much? And so then that's kind of when I settled on biochemistry as opposed to a biology major, which a lot of pre-med students are, or just a chemistry straight up. So I really thought that by doing biochemistry, I could integrate those things that I loved respectively and kind of go from there.
Okay, that's good. So why medicine? I'm sure you got this question before, so I'd like to hear your
Yeah.
answer. Why did you choose
So
medicine, Vincent? Why medicine?
I think one of the big things that kind of led me into medicine was just some experiences I had when I was younger. I was able to see my grandfather kind of go through the digression of dementia when I was probably 8 or 9. And so that was kind of one of the first things that really interested me in medicine. Obviously, at the time, I was mourning, and it wasn't easy for my family to watch that happen. But looking back on it, I think that's one thing that maybe even subconsciously really triggered me to have an inkling towards the field of medicine. And then, like I said, I knew I had a kind of an idea that I wanted to go into medicine. I thought maybe in high school, maybe I'd go work in a lab, something to do with chemistry. And then I had that internship where I was able to spend some time in the operating room, in the emergency room, radiology, all different aspects of the hospital. And at that point, it kind of solidified, yeah, this is something I'd like to do. I'd like to use what I know about chemistry and science and use it in this field of medicine to then help people.
Yeah, I agree. So what specialty are you leaning towards? If you were able to pick one today, you finished medical school and you developed the acumen with a skilled medical student that you will be, hopefully and prayerfully. What specialty would you choose today? I'm just curious.
Yeah, I think if I had to choose something today, I'm really open into whatever when I go through my rotation sparks my interest. But if I had to pick something now, I think I would pick neurology. Okay. Just on the fact that I really am infatuated with the brain and how complex it is and everything that's going on there. I actually started out at Taylor with a psych minor, but then dropped that because I wasn't able to. It was just going to be a workload I wasn't willing to commit to adding that minor. So then I was able to take some psychology classes, and again, it just blew my mind, just the complexity of the human brain and how there's so many things that we don't know about it, and so many diseases that right now don't have any cures or anything like that. And I think it's a field that is, there's a high supply or high demand, and I'm hoping I can help with my future colleagues to meet that demand.
That's fair. It's good that it worked out, eh?
Yeah.
work together for good. Romans 8:28. Yep. But do you have any advice to those wanting to pursue the field that you're currently studying in? That you're about to embark in, and the field that you studied in.
Yeah, I would say just get as much real world experience as possible to really know, because you don't know. You may have an idea, you think, oh yeah, I'll like this sounds interesting, but until you really kind of get your hands dirty and have that experience. For me, it was like I interned at the hospital, and then a couple years later I worked as a nursing assistant at that same hospital. And so that aspect of it, you're able to see the almost the bottom of the totem pole in the medical field on your way to hopefully one day the top of the totem pole as a doctor. But really, it's kind of wrong, I guess I would say, to see it as a totem pole. I think it's a more
progression.
A progression, yeah. It's people all working together. You need everyone on board from the nursing assistants all the way to the top physicians. You need everybody on board, thinking the same way, using that teamwork to do what's ultimately best for the patient. And so then I did that, and this past year or so, I've been able to work at our county jail in the medical department and be able to have that experience. And I think all these different experiences and just being thrown into the fire in the medical field has really solidified my passion for medicine. And so I would say people coming in thinking they might want to do medicine, just put yourself in the shoes of a medical professional and really give it a try.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. So, what has been some of the most beneficial advice that you have received? Some of the most beneficial advice you have received to date?
I think that one thing for me, I was able to shadow a doctor or a physician here in around my hometown, and what he said to me was that the process of taking the MCAT and preparing for medical school, things like that, that's the hard part. Once you get in, you're a good student. You're obviously a good student if you got in. So you can kind of breathe this or take a breath of relief when that happens. So just making sure that you're not getting overwhelmed, you're not getting too anxious or worked up for the school. And just kind of, like I said before, taking it day by day.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. That's very good. Anyway, Vincent, thanks so much for joining me today. It was definitely a pleasure to have you on as a guest and a good friend of mine.
Absolutely.
Thanks for listening. We're glad you were able to tune into this podcast. Once again, this is The New Chemist, where we discuss chemistry, which simply put is the science of change, as well as the other sciences, careers, community, research, and COVID-19. Thanks again for listening. Note, the views on this podcast represent those of my guests and I. Okay, welcome to the new Student Pharmacist podcast experience. It's so glad to have you listening in today. Our guest today is Aaron Lavardi, a colleague and good friend of mine for the past 16 years. Aaron is currently a professional basketball player playing in France. It is so great to have you with me today. So just before we begin, I'll give a brief overview of your career thus far. So Aaron did his bachelor's degree in kinesiology, and also he started playing professional basketball in Denmark, and now he's in France. So it's so good to have him on as a guest today. Aaron, it's good to have you, man.
Yeah, it's a pleasure being here. First and foremost, I want to thank you for having me on here. Like you said, we've been good friends since high school, and you've helped me a lot through high school and through life. And so I just appreciate being on here and diving into what we have to get into today. So
yeah, dude, this is exciting. So what inspired you to pursue a career in professional basketball, especially in France?
Well, from a young age, I've always been into sports. It didn't matter what sport I played. I always loved playing sports. And I remember in high school, like going from 10th to 11th grade, I grew extremely tall. And I decided to start playing basketball. And I always wanted to be a professional athlete in any sport that I was good at. And I wanted it to be basketball. So I pursued that from high school, and now I'm here. So, yeah, I think it was just a dream of mine.
Good. So would you say you're living your dream?
Yeah, I think I am. So
yeah, man, that's powerful. It's powerful.
Yeah.
So amidst the rigorous world of professional sports, how do you maintain a balanced perspective on your career, professional, athletic life, and your personal life?
Well, I feel like it's just always being consistent, having the same people around, having the same routine every day, and then just being able to make time for certain things like hanging out with friends or talking to my family and just talking to my girlfriend and all that type of stuff. So it's just about making time for others and prioritizing your time correctly. So I think that's what helps me. Especially I like I said earlier, how I stick to a routine. So every day pretty much I'm working on my craft, whether it's doing drill work like with a basketball, or I'm in the weight room and I'm doing specific exercises that help me on the basketball court, not necessarily just going in there to like be big and bulk up, but just help me with basketball movements and basketball motion. And I'm just able to be consistent with it, doing it every day, time in and time out. That's the part of being a professional, is being consistent and doing everything every day. No matter if you're not in the mood to do it that day, you have to keep doing it. So
yeah, you're right. So how do you motivate yourself to keep doing it?
You motivate it's not necessarily having motivation, it's more discipline. You're not going to be motivated every day, but you can strive to be disciplined. So those days when you're not motivated, you're like, yeah, I have to do this. And then once you get it out of the way, you're like, oh, okay, well, I did it now, and that I've just gotten better from that day. So it's just being disciplined, not necessarily motivation all the time.
Well, that's good, dude. That's very good. That's very good, because you make the point that it's not just about being motivated to do something, but being disciplined enough to consistently do it.
Right. Right.
That's a very powerful concept. We'll be more into that as we progress in the conversation. So finding the right team and environment is crucial. How did you identify and thrive in the ideal setting for your athletic development and success?
Well, I've been blessed. I've been blessed to be in good situations in Europe. It's not you. I don't know if you hear, but I know from me being in the basketball world, I hear a lot of situations in Europe where guys aren't in good situations, like they don't get paid on time, and the coaching staffs aren't like good, and they don't really look out for the players. So I've always been in good situations, and I got to give a shout out to my agent too, James Blackburn. He always puts me in good situations where I can thrive and I can feel comfortable enough to be able to perform my best. So I feel like that helps as well.
So would you say it's your staff? Would you say it's your team? What do you say is to you being able to find the right environments?
It's both. It's both my team, my staff. I've had great teammates as well. I've had great staffs as well. Helped me through my career and stuff like that, and giving me the right advice going forward and moving forward. So it's been both.
Okay. So could you highlight some of your most memorable and influential contributions to the sport of basketball?
Well, recently I just played with the Bahamas national team.
Okay.
I feel as though that's a big contribution for me, representing my country.
Yes.
I know every athlete from their country always wants to represent their country in some way or some form, and wear the colors of their flag proudly. So I think that's one of my biggest contributions, is being able to play for the national team and give us some success, because we won a game this past window against Puerto Rico. So I feel as though.
So you're currently playing with the national team?
Yeah, we just played in February. We just played in February against Puerto Rico, and we won a game and lost a game. So, yeah.
Oh wow, dude, this is good, man! Congratulations.
Yeah.
So
thank you.
You're playing along with some big names like DeAndre Ayton.
Yeah. He wasn't there, but Kai Jones.
Yeah, I know Kai Jones. Of course, I know Jones. Buddy.
Yeah, Kai Jones was there. Buddy wasn't there, and Ayton wasn't there, but Kai Jones was there as well. Yeah.
I'm very proud, man. Keep it up.
Thank you.
So, juggling various commitments and accomplishments can be daunting. How do you manage to lead a well-rounded life while pursuing your basketball career? So, I want you to be practical for me, so people could take away some snippets or ideas or either feedback, whatever works, so they can apply to their own personal life. How are you able to manage what you're doing and stay stable and also stay successful? What practical things do you use? Calendars? Do you have an assistant, a personal assistant? How are you able to do this?
No, I do it by myself. I always have a schedule for me. Like, I plan my day out from the beginning of the day. I'm like once I wake up in the morning, and it's all about being consistent as well. For those who want to pursue a career, you always have to be consistent, no matter what it is. So for me, it's always being consistent with what I do on a daily basis. So in the morning, I get up, eat breakfast at the same time. I go to the gym at the same time. Then we have practice. Then I do my workouts at the same time. Try to keep it the same. And then after that, I eat. And then we got another practice later on that day. So then I'm in practice again. And then I make sure to get all my recovery and stuff after the second practice, whether that's stretching, whether that's icing, whether that's a massage. But that's just for me. That's just in the athletic world. And so I try to just implement that. For those who listen and for those who want to be consistent, I just try to implement that in whatever you do and try to take that and just be consistent with your life. And I promise you it'll help for sure.
I agree. Being consistent helps you make significant progress. In fact, I think it helps you make accelerated progress sometimes.
Right.
You progress like beyond beyond the norm for your age bracket.
Right.
That norm. I think you
right. And once you stay consistent, is like after a certain time, it's not like a chore anymore. Like it's habit after that. So it's easier. It's much easier once you keep going and going. It's much easier as you go along. So.
Yeah, you're right. It becomes a matter of execution. Where your success or your achievement becomes a matter of execution, not really a hill to climb. Just a matter of following through. Just like how you play tennis, you follow through with your fun to hit the net. You follow through with your routine. Yeah. Right. Yeah, man. So do you feel like BME has prepared you well for where you are right now in terms of managing stress or Okay.
Of course, I think everything what I've been through has prepared me for this. Coming from where we come, from, it ain't easy to get out of there. Yeah.
All right, coming from Freeport, it's not easy.
Yeah.
I'm in DC, in France. It's not easy to come from a small island nation and come to these places and to thrive in these places.
Right, you as yourself would know. You've been all over as well. You've been all over in the States and stuff too. So like it ain't easy, but all that prepared. Yeah, all of that prepared me for it.
Yeah, God's good. Yeah, man. So my question to you is, can you share some of your pivotal moments or decisions that have significantly shaped your trajectory as a basketball player?
That's a good question. Some of the most pivotal decisions, I think, is for me going to Milligan College in Tennessee.
So elaborate on that.
That was a pivotal decision for me. So, I started playing basketball late, and
I remember you used to swim a lot.
Yeah, I used to swim, right.
But and you were one fast swimmer.
Yeah, and then when I grew taller, that's when I started playing basketball, like that year. So, I started taking it serious when I was like 16, 17. And so that's late. That's late for if you want to do that. Yeah. So, like around when I was 18, I was at what is known as UB, but University of the Bahamas. But now back then it was College of the Bahamas.
I know, right?
So I was at College of the Bahamas because I didn't get a scholarship straight out of high school to play basketball.
Yeah.
And I was just going to school at that moment, and every day, like after school coming from COB, I'd just go to the YMCA and work out, shoot in the gym, go to the gym, go to the weight room and stuff. And like I got the opportunity to go to Milligan College because of this coach. He coached high school in Tennessee, but he always came down to the Bahamas for a camp. And he always used to like look at the kids at the camp, and if they were like showed any type of, like they could play basketball further on in college, he would like tell schools in the States about them, and they would bring those kids over and they would try out for the school. And so he saw me, rest in peace. His name is Coach Dale Burns. He died a couple years back from cancer, rest in peace. He'll always be in my heart. But he saw me and he was like, yeah, he's talented. Like he could play at the next level. And he told Milligan College, the coach there, about me. I came up, I tried out. They loved me and they gave me a scholarship. And I just worked from there. I kept working. I never stopped working. My first year, I didn't play at all. And every day I'd just be in the gym working because I wanted to play.
Dude, that's good, man. Good. You remind me of.
Yeah.
Good. This is good. Keep going. I'm listening. Keep going.
Yeah. And so like my first year I didn't play, and then my second and third year, because I spent 3 years there, I played and I won the Player of the Year in the conference, and that propelled my career to play overseas, to where my agent saw me and he said, yeah, now you could play overseas. Like you have the ability to be able to produce professionally. And so I feel like Milligan was a pivotal point in my career, being able to propel my career.
Powerful story, because you said first you talked about how, and this is a common thing, and I'm glad you brought this up. This is a common thing for people from the Bahamas. Sometimes you start off wanting to pursue school and you don't get the scholarship the first year.
Right, exactly.
The high school, you don't get the scholarship. Sometimes that happens. So as we start to wrap up, how did you manage that? How did you manage that, and how did you manage not playing in your first year? What strategies did you have to employ? Was it a faith perspective?
It was just just staying faith, like, believing in God and believing He had me in my best interest, and just staying faithful and trusting the process. Just trusting going to the gym, and then one day, it'll work out for me. And that's the message. That's the message I have for a lot of kids, especially from back home, is that it's hard to get seen back home, but that doesn't mean that you should stop working, and that doesn't mean that you should give up, because you never know. You never know. I didn't know that was gonna happen that day. But I was ready. I was ready for it because I stayed prepared.
Yes, you stayed prepared for the opportunity. Same thing with me. I think about some of the mentors I've been able to interface with or have as a mentor for me. To think about, there's not really a well planned out process to really meet up with these people, but you just stay prepared. So when you encounter them, being prepared.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. That's good, Aaron. So as we wrap up, what some advice you would like to share with people from the Bahamas, or also people who are considering professional athletic careers? What advice would you share with them, or what has been some advice that you have received that you would like to share?
Well, for kids from the Bahamas, what I'd like to share for them is put yourselves out there. Don't be scared. Don't be scared to be confident in yourself, and to let people hear your voice. Because like we said, it's a small island. It's not a lot of publicity around there, so it could be hard to get your name out. So just keep working, and then when the time comes, be confident in yourself and be ready to show them that, hey, I can do this, and I can do this just as much as people from the States, like bigger countries like that. So I feel as though that's my advice to a lot of Bahamians out there, no matter what, not necessarily just sports, in anything you want to
confident.
pursue.
Yes, I agree. Be confident.
Anything you want to pursue.
Just be confident, and it's not hubris, but confidence in your practice, in your hard work, in your skill. It's the thing, the point you made. I can function as well, just as any person from a developed first world country. Case in point, with the podcast is globally ranked in so many different places. As the podcast, you are making strides on the global scale. So this is mine. But thanks again, Aaron, for joining me today. This is really a treat.
Thanks for listening to the podcast series The New Student Pharmacist, where we discuss chemistry and pharmacy, as well as leaders in pharmacy careers, community, and chemistry and pharmacy research. We encourage you to support the work we are doing and follow us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts by subscribing for free. We are so glad that you were able to tune in today. Note: the views on the podcast represent those of my guest, and I take care and all the best.
Yes, you can. You can do anything if you try. Believe in yourself. You have what you need to succeed. Use strategy, self-care, and community.
Believe in yourself.
You can do anything if you try. Believe in yourself. You have what you need to succeed. Use strategy, self-care, and community. Keep going. Believe in yourself. You have what you need to succeed. John Quincy Adams.
But I promise you they will accomplish the least. Barack Obama.
The future is to create it.
It starts with the decision to try. John F. Kennedy.
You can do anything if you try. Believe in yourself. You have what you need to succeed. Use strategy.
Anything if you try. Believe in yourself. You have what you need to succeed. Use strategy, self-care, and community. Keep going. Yes, you can. You can do anything if you try. Believe in yourself. You have what you need to succeed. Use strategy, self-care, and community. You can do anything if you try. Believe in yourself. You have what you need to succeed. Use strategy, self-care, and community. Keep going.
But I promise you they will accomplish the least.
Actions inspire others to dream more, learn more, do more, and become more. You are a leader. John Quincy Adams.
But I promise you they will accomplish the least. Barack
Use strategy, self-care, and community. Keep going. Yes, you can. You can do anything if you try. Believe in yourself. You have what you need to succeed. Use strategy, self-care, and community. Keep going.
You can do anything if you try. Believe in yourself. You have what you need to succeed. Use strategy, self-care, and community.
You can do anything if you try. Believe in yourself. You have what you need to succeed. Use strategy, self-care, and community. Keep going.
With the decision to try. John F. Kennedy.
The future is to create it.
The loudest voices, but I promise you they will accomplish the least.
Actions inspire others to dream more, learn more, do more, and become more. You are a leader. John Quincy Adams.
But I promise you they will accomplish the least. Barack Obama.
The future is to create it.
Accomplishment starts with the decision to try. John F. Kennedy.
You can do anything if you try. Believe in yourself. You have what you need to succeed. Use strategy, self-care, and community.
You can do anything if you try. Believe in yourself. You have what you need to succeed. Use strategy, self-care, and community. Keep going. Yes, you can. You can do anything if you try. Believe in yourself. You have what you need to succeed. Use strategy, self-care, and community.
Anything if you try. You have what you need to succeed. Use strategy, self-care, and community.
Do anything if you try. Believe in yourself. You have what you need to succeed. Use strategy, self-care, and community. Keep going.
With the decision to try. John F. Kennedy.
The future is to create it.
And you're halfway there. Do more and become more. You are a leader.
Cynics may be
John
the loudest
Quincy
voices,
Adams.
but I promise you they will accomplish the least. Barack Obama.
The future is to create it.
Accomplishment starts with the decision to try. John F. Kennedy.
You can do anything if you try. Believe in yourself. You have what you need to succeed. Use strategy, self-care, and community.
You can do anything if you try. Believe in yourself. You have what you need to succeed. Use strategy, self-care, and community.
Believe in yourself. You have what you need to succeed. Use strategy, self-care, and
You can do anything if you try. Believe in yourself. You have what you need to succeed. Use strategy, self-care, and community.
voices, but I promise you they will accomplish the least.
Your actions inspire others to dream more, learn more, do more, and become more. You are a leader. John Quincy Adams.
But I promise you they will accomplish the least.
The future is to create it. Innovation starts with the decision to try.
John F. Kennedy.
You can do anything if you try. Believe in yourself. You have what you need to succeed. Use strategy, self-care, and
Anything if you try. Believe in yourself. You have what you need to succeed. Use strategy, self-care, and community. Keep going. Yes, you can. You can do anything if you try. Believe in yourself. You have what you need to succeed. Use strategy, self-care, and community.
try. Believe in yourself. You have what you need to succeed. Use strategy, self-care, and community. Keep
starts with the decision to try. John F. Kennedy.
The future is to create it.
Abraham, you're halfway there. Theodore
Loudest voices, but I promise you they will accomplish the least.
Your actions inspire others to dream more, learn more, do more, and become more. You are a leader. John Quincy Adams.
But I promise you they will accomplish the least.
Keep
promise you they will accomplish the list.
Your actions inspire others to dream more, learn more, do more and become more. You are a leader.
Cynics may be
John
the loudest
Quincy
voices,
Adams.
but I promise you they will accomplish the list. Barack Obama.
The future is to create it.
Every accomplishment starts with the decision to try. John F. Kennedy.
You can do anything if you try. Believe in yourself. You have what you need to succeed. Use strategy, self-care and community.
You can do anything if you try. Believe in yourself. You have what you need to succeed. Use strategy, self-care, and community. Keep going. Yes, you can. You can do anything if you try. Believe in yourself. You have what you need to succeed. Use strategy, self-care, and community.
Believe in yourself. You have what you need to succeed. Use strategy, self-care, and community.
You can do anything if you try. Believe in yourself. You have what you need to succeed. Use strategy, self-care, and community. Keep going.
With the decision to try. But I promise you they will accomplish the list.
Your actions inspire others to dream more, learn more, do more and become more. You are a leader. John Quincy Adams.
But I promise you they will accomplish the list. Barack Obama.
The future is to create it.
Accomplishment starts with the decision to try. John F. Kennedy.
You try. Believe in yourself. You have what you need to succeed. Use strategy, self-care and community.
You can do anything if you try. Believe in yourself. You have what you need to succeed. Use strategy, self-care, and community. Keep going. Yes, you can. You can do anything if you try. Believe in yourself. You have what you need to succeed. Use strategy, self-care, and community. Keep going.
Believe in yourself. You have what you need to succeed. Use strategy, self-care, and community.
You can do anything if you try. Believe in yourself. You have what you need to succeed. Use strategy, self-care, and community. Keep going.
With the decision to try. John F. Kennedy.
Predict the future is to create it.
You're halfway there. Theodore
May be the loudest
Roosevelt.
voices, but I promise you they will accomplish the list.
Inspire others to dream more, learn more, do more and become more. You are a leader. John Quincy Adams.
But I promise you they will accomplish the list. Barack Obama.
The future is to create it.
Accomplishment starts with the decision to
Believe in yourself. You have what you need to succeed. Use strategy, self-care, and community.
You can do anything if you try. Believe in yourself. You have what you need to succeed. Use strategy, self-care, and community. Keep going. Yes, you can. You can do anything if you try. Believe in yourself. You have what you need to succeed. Use strategy, self-care, and community. Keep going.
You can do anything if you try. Believe in yourself. You have what you need to succeed. Use strategy, self-care, and community. Keep going.
John F. Kennedy. Loudest voices, but I promise you they will accomplish the list. But I promise you they will accomplish the list.
to succeed. Use strategy, self-care, and community. Keep going. Yes, you can. Believe in yourself. You have what you need to succeed. Use strategy, self-care, and community. Keep going. You can do anything if you try. Believe in yourself. You have what you need to succeed. Use strategy, self-care, and community. Keep going.
You can do anything if you try. Believe in yourself. You have what you need to succeed. Use strategy, self-care, and community.
You can do anything if you try. Believe in yourself. You have what you need to succeed. Use strategy, self-care, and community. Keep going. Yes, you can. You can do anything if you try. Believe in yourself. You have what you need to succeed. Use strategy, self-care, and community. You can do anything if you try. Believe in yourself. You have what you need to succeed. Use strategy, self-care, and community. Keep going. you need to succeed. Use strategy, self-care, and community. Keep going. Yes, you can. You can do anything if you try. Believe in yourself. You have what you need to succeed. Use strategy, self-care, and
Strategy, self-care, and community.
Yes, you can.
Keep going.
You can do it.
You are very important, especially to us here at the New Chemist podcasting group. You listening in is significant.
Vous êtes très important, surtout pour nous ici au New Chemist Podcasting Group. Votre écoute est significative.
Usted es muy importante, especialmente para nosotros aquí en The New Chemist Podcasting Group. Usted escuchando, es significativo.
Você é muito importante. Especialmente para nós do The New Chemist Podcasting Group. Você ouvindo, é significativo.
Είστε πολύ σημαντικοί, ειδικά για εμάς εδώ στο The New Chemist Podcasting Group. Το να ακούς είναι σημαντικό.
Sie sind sehr wichtig, besonders für uns hier bei The New Chemist Podcasting Group. Es ist wichtig, dass du zuhörst.
Je bent erg belangrijk, vooral voor ons hier bij The New Chemist Podcasting Group. Dat je meeluistert, is veelbetekenend.
You are very important, especially to us here at the New Chemist Podcasting Group. You listening in is significant.